Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to have another fake versus retail, rep versus retail, snide versus genuine, whatever you want to call it. So in a moment we're going to play a game. On my feet I'm going to have a fake on one foot and a real shoe on the other foot. It's up to you to decide which one it is. Okay, and we're back. Now today, obviously, I have a pair of lucky greens to show you. In fact, I have two pairs of lucky greens to show you, one of which came from sneakers directly. The other one came directly from Putien, but so did the sneakers ones. Interesting. Let's have a look. Were you able to tell which of these was the real one, which one was the fake one? Were you able to do that? Are you confident in your answer? Well, hang around until the end of the video where I will reveal, of course, which one is the real one, which one is the so-called fake one. It's definitely a very interesting pair of shoes to analyze because, my goodness, look at the details. Let's have a look together. It is remarkable how close this shoe is. Speeding this bit up because it's boring. I have to do an unboxing. I have to show you this is actually from Sneakers. If you don't get boxes like this where you're from, this is what Sneakers gives you in China. So you'll see there the sticker when you peel it open. It says void. This is a retail pair. Let's have a look. Okay, we've got the retail on the right looking crispy and we've got the fake on the left. Now the shoe sizes are slightly different. The rep pair is a 44. The retail is a 45. So US 10 and 11 respectively. Now you can see the sheen of the box. The quality of the box is slightly better. It's got a better print to it. It's kind of a matte finish. The rep pair is a bit glossier. Let's have a look at these labels. Just reposition that for you. So retail on the bottom here. You can see the quality of the print work. It's pretty much the same. There's not much between them. Honestly, I am struggling to discern any differences. The only difference being the size difference here, as far as I'm concerned. Got an additional QR sticker on the retail down the bottom right, but that's it. Moving swiftly on, let's flip these open. Let's have a look at the inside of the lid. Slightly different texture, very slightly. Print is the same. Quality and position of the printing exactly the same. Obviously taking into account the slight difference in size because of the slight difference in shoe size. Texture wise, they are the same. That is remarkable. I always say the box doesn't matter because they're not that accurate. In this instance, they are. Now, the paper, again, it seems silly to go into this detail, but you'll see when I get into the shoes why I'm talking about this. There's horizontal lines going across on the genuine, but on the fake pair, the paper doesn't have that. Easily changed, so not a huge tell to go off. You'll notice the Gen here in China, they come with the RFID tags that you can scan with your phone, which shows this exact pair, so they're trackable until they are removed. I don't think anyone has replicated those, so it's pretty. Look at those, man. That is so hard to tell the difference. So let's get out this fake pair. Let's have a look at it first. That is damn good. Look at the tumbling of the leather on the green. Look at the quality of the leather used, the materials. Have a look at the fidelity of the tag. You know, it's important to look at this by itself before we do a comparison, because you won't always have a real next to your fake. But even when I pull them up next to each other, what's jumping out to you? Nothing is catching my eye. I'm even looking at the holes here on the air vent holes, looking the same. Texture wise, The rep is almost surpassing it with the quality of the leather. Got a nice crinkle to it. I'm looking at the toe box shape from the front. I'm looking at the quality of the leather. They got pretty much the same sheen to them. Let's have a look at these tags. So remember, fake on the left, real on the right. If anything, the one on the left has better placement, because the one on the right, the Nike Air, is tucked in a little bit too low. They've placed it so that it's folding over. The fake pair, you can actually see the whole thing. Texture of the tongue is the same. Looking at the fidelity of the embroidery on the inside tag, that is remarkable. That is the same. And the texture on the inside and the padding and general thickness, very hard to discern any differences there. All right, let's move on. This is why we have to look at silly details like the paper stuff. I always sneer at, but when it's this accurate, I can see why people have to. Yep, that's the same recycled paper. Okay, we're gonna have to go deeper. We'll look at the laces and see how they have been put in. Quick feel there, they feel exactly the same, man. This is crazy. So laces, same texture, same feel, exact same color. They've matched that. They are essentially the same. Now here's a difference. I already spotted it, I'm sure you have. Let's have a look at these insoles. We're looking at the fidelity of the print on the Nike Air and also the general texture of the material used to cover that foam. So you can see there's a sticker that you don't get on the retail. I'll just tuck that underneath. And looking at the quality of the print, night and day, you can see how much superior the real one is. Feels softer here. This one's got a rougher finish. Again, you need them side by side. Apart from the print error, the lack of fidelity. Flipping them over, the foam seems to be pretty much the same. On the little square bit, they're both pushed in rather than being pushed out. Maybe slightly bolder on the fake one, ever so slightly. Again, you need them side by side. They do have a slightly different feel to them. Again, you need them both in hand. You wouldn't be able to tell on an isolated pair. We're gonna have to go deeper. Let's have a look at the lasting board and the general quality of the Strobel stitch. They've both been stitched well. The lasting board on the right is lighter, so the real one has a lighter gray. The fake one has an almost brown tinge to it. Have you spotted what I have? It's about the stitching here. On the retail, it's green and black intermittent stitches showing through on the inside, and on the fake pair it's all black, so there's a tell. They'll probably change that if they can be asked to make these things exact. So for now, that is a tell. The feel and texture of the lasting board, pretty similar, but it should be a light color. I'm looking here at the inside label. That's not a tell, it's just been tucked in during production. There it is, exactly the same placement. XB factory. Quality of that spot on. That's the real, what am I talking about, spot on? You'd hope it is. They're the same. They're the same. This is how nuts it is looking at these side by side, literally side by side. It's actually quite tricky to tell them apart. It's only because I know, and because that tag's on them. If you gave me both of these, I'd be in trouble. Looking at swoosh, there is a slight difference in the swoosh texture and placement, but ever so slightly. So look at on the fake pair, the tick is going towards that last lace hole. On the retail, it's kind of going in between second to last and last. You see the curvature of it there, slightly thicker towards the tip. That's what she said. They are bonkers, man. Right, looking at the wings logo, embossed work on the fake pair is crispy. Yeah, there's nothing between those. Like marginal, like micromillimeters difference in sizing. Looking at the shape, the fake one kind of looking a bit slimmer from behind. Fake is looking slimmer, and that's it. The real flares out a bit more. But again, that's easily changed when you lace them. Once laced, that's hard. Quality of the medial panel, that white panel. the same. Honestly, that is so similar. There's a slight difference in shape on the lace holes section. I forget the name for it, you know what I mean, the flap at the front. Let's have a look at the shape. Toe box shape is looking fantastic on both. Let's look at that 4-foot flex notch, the bit where the vamp comes down a bit. On the toe strap, it's the same. Yep, slightly more than a finger's width up from the midsole. That is bonkers. Okay, there's a slight difference in color here. I'm sure you can see that, slightly darker on the left on the fake one. The real one has that soft sort of sticky feeling to it. So does the fake, but it's not quite the same feeling. Again, you need them in hand. Fidelity is slightly higher on the mold on the left on the fake pair for that bit around the Nike, and the stars definition, both crispy, both looking the same. Yeah, if you presented me with the fake pair, I'd have no clue, man. Squeeze test, it is sturdy from the side, got a slight bit of give as it should do, but it's holding true from the sides. Let's get the real one, may as well do that as well for a fair test. Obviously sturdy and the same amount of give. They are essentially the same shoe at this point. They really are. That's insane, man. It's probably one of the best reps I've seen, but there you go. But what about a black light test? I hear you in the comments. Well, let's do it, have we? Let's dim the lights and have a look. So fake pair first. No guidelines showing the stitches glow as they do. The only thing showing up is the dust on these. That is pretty damn clean. There is nothing showing up on that shoe that shouldn't be there. We will check the real one, of course, to see if it's the same glow on the same stitches, and it is. The real one's actually a bit dustier fresh out the box. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Blacklight is not helping you in this instance at all. Looking at the inside, we need to check everything. We're going to get every nook and cranny with this blacklight. Let's have a look. Real one to show you how it picks up the stitches. No guidelines. Visible guidelines are obviously removed with a hairdryer because it's a heat sensitive pen, but they do leave residue which would normally show up on a fake pair. They do not on this pair. That's exactly the same. Nothing, absolutely nothing showed up. Thank you for watching. Please do consider subscribing to the channel. I've been going a bit nuts on the retail purchases recently. Hopefully they do make replicas of them so I can do a rep versus retail for you, do a legit check. Now the answer, it's answer time. You've seen the details of the shoes, but obviously when I'm showing you them, you will have noticed that the retail pair had a safety tag on them. An RFID tag on here, which Nike is really vigilant about in China. I don't know necessarily whether you get those, so I can't use that as a legit check. You saw the black light, you saw there were no guidelines, no visible guidelines. It is pretty crazy how close these things have come. Well, it is answer time. The smaller shoe, if you go back and watch, I'll put it over here. If you watch this, you will maybe pick up that the left shoe was slightly smaller than the right. The left shoe is the fake, and the one on my right foot is the real pair. So there you go. One of those is fake, one of those is real. Even right now, as my face is behind these shoes, I'm struggling to see. Obviously, I do know, because I know that the one on the right, on my right foot earlier, is the real one, and the one on my left foot is the fake. But my goodness, how close are those? How close is that? That is madness. The only real discernible difference that jumps out without having them side by side is the color of the lasting board. Maybe a bit of the Strobel finish, the stitch on there, but even that was good. So there you go. What is your takeaway from today's video? Is it that the reps have caught up and it is scary out there? Is it a good thing? Does it make them more affordable? Does it mean that everyone can get one? I don't know. you let me know in the comments. I would be interested in that as a discussion to see your point of view on those. It's an interesting shoe because here in China anyway, the Lucky Greens are still sitting. They're still available. So it's not like it's a shoe that's hard to get, but it is a shoe that's easily used to con people. It's a weird one, isn't it? Anyway, Snide out. Please do consider subscribing. I've got plenty more videos coming up, plenty more rep versus retail content. As always, keep it snidey.